We're doing fondue today, and I'm in the kitchen with Gary Wiggin from Whistling Straits, right on the water in Kohler, and we're doing an Italian fondue that they actually serve at the club. The golfers love it. So good to see you, Gary.
Good to see you, too.
So we started out with some butter and some onion, and we're just kind of letting the onion get a little bit soft.
We're sweating the onions. We're going to make a little roux, half butter, half flour. That's going to be the thickening agent.
Yeah,
so right
garlic.
Now, I got, basically you can see in here the onions are starting to get soft. We are adding just a little bit of garlic to that. And then we're going to add flour. Now, by adding the flour, what we're doing here is this is going to be the thickening agent of the fondue, which is going to make it nice and creamy.
Yum.
And technically, I'd want to cook this out for anywhere between 5 and 6 minutes.
Okay.
But really, you just want to cook it out, and that gets that starchy flavor out of it. So as soon as it starts to cook, you would let this go, and it will almost start forming a paste.
Okay.
Now, what I like to do for my fondue is we use chicken stock. If you don't have chicken stock, you can use water. It also works well.
Okay.
Or some type of bouillon, low sodium base.
Okay.
And we're going to add that in there. As we add this in here, you're going to see this will slowly start to thicken. The flour is going to act as a natural thickener. So we add a little bit of this, and then cream. This is also going to make it nice and rich.
Yum. And we're using Parmesan cheese, Wisconsin Parmesan, made by Sartori. Wonderful. That's going to give it a little bit different than your traditional Swiss cheese fondue.
Correct, yes. It's Sartori, the Sarvecchio we're using right now. It's a great cheese. It really is. It's so pungent in flavor. It's got the salt crystals still in it, and it goes really well with what we're going to accompany it with, which is a caramelized onion, orange marmalade, and some tomato relish, and some white truffle bread. So all I have here is just a little wand mixture.
Okay.
I'm going to basically, I want to
stand back.
We're going to use this to kind of just puree it.
The onions and the cream, the garlic.
So that flavor will all kind of come together.
Okay.
And you can kind of see just with that flour, it's thickening up. Now, we'll have to add a little bit more liquid to this.
Okay. At what point do you add the cheese? How do you know when to add the cheese?
You add the cheese as soon as it gets to the point where you don't want the cheese sinking to the bottom of it.
And you add it like handfuls at a time?
Handfuls at a time, and that way you know how much you want to use.
Okay.
So if you want to start adding cheese a handful at a time, that would be great.
You bet. So this is the shredded Parmesan.
Yep, and this is, as we add it, it's going to melt and incorporate into it. And once we start seeing that gooiness and the kind of the string effect going, then we know it's done.
Tell me when.
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going?
Maybe one more handful.
Okay.
And this is one of those recipes, too. It's just a guideline. You can put in as much or as little as you like. And as that cheese, as soon as that gets all melted, that's pretty much ready to serve.
We've got some toasted bread in the oven here that we're going to use as our dipper. Yum. And then you talked about serving this. This is kind of a neat idea. We've got some of this orange marmalade jam, isn't it?
Yeah, basically what I took was I took julienne onion and I caramelized that, and then what I did was add some sugar, some red wine vinegar, and a little bit of orange juice, and I reduced that down till it was a syrup.
Yum.
And so you have the sweet texture of that, and then on the other side of that we did a nice raw heirloom tomato relish. So you have the acidity of the tomato, you have the sweetness of the marmalade, and then the pungency of the Parmesan cheese.
Yum.
So we're just going to kind of put that in the bowl.
Should I put the toast kind of around it?
Yep, put the toast kind of around it.
Yum.
You can kind of see the thickness we have here. It's big enough that you dip that toast in there and it's going to kind of hold it. And then you take a little spoonful of the Parmesan or the tomato or the onion.
That looks amazing.
And you can kind of see.
Wow, I might have to dip a little into here.
I think you have to.
Oh,
I mean, one's just usually not enough. I personally enjoy it with the sweetness of the onion.
Yum.
But the tomatoes on it is great as well.
So good to see you. This is on the menu.